the thing. You ever got one of them things yet?
What?
Yes.
Oh,
Check
you
one
can
on
do that.
Amazon. Action!
Alright guys, today we're doing a Q&A, and many of you have asked about my brother, and he agreed to be a part of this this little thing. So we're going to start put a questionnaire out, or I don't know if it's called a questionnaire. I asked for questions on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. We got quite a bit of questions, so we chose some. We're going to start with the ones that pertain to my brother while he is here. We're going to make this video about 20-25 minutes, and what we get through, and then we'll maybe do this once a month or something like that. So I guess we'll start with the first one. This is one that I've been asked a lot, is BJ, why don't you fart?
I'm too pretty.
It's too pretty. There we go.
No, I mean, when I was younger...
I guess we should start off by saying this is my brother BJ, Bob Jr.
Howdy, YouTube.
He is 12 years older than I am, so there's quite a bit of an age difference between us.
To the day.
To the day. We were both born on August 2nd.
Good planning on my part.
Yep. If you think about that,
we're depending on how you look at
if
it.
you think about that, that's right around the end of harvest.
Yeah.
But anyways, BJ, why don't you fart?
I don't know. It was just never really something that... I think Dad would tell you when he was a kid, that's the only thing he ever really wanted to do. And I never really figured out what I wanted to do, to be honest. I mean, 40 years old, still looking, sort of. But no, it was just never... I never felt like the opportunity was really there for me to get involved full time. Things were a little bit different back then.
Yeah, whenever BJ would have been getting out of high school, I mean, things were there. We were farming different acres. My dad had a 50-50 partner in the operation, and my uncle. So I mean, it wasn't as cut and dry then. So I mean, there's several different things that contributed to that, I'd say, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, yeah. Some poor choices on my own behalf, my personal life. So. But things happen.
Yeah. Another question I got was, why did I choose to farm? And I don't know. I guess kind of like you were saying. It never dawned on me that I was going to do anything else. I mean, it's just something that I always, like from the time I was little, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So that's why I chose to farm, I guess. Dad, why did you choose to farm? That was another question.
Why I chose to farm? Well, I grew up on a farm. Loved equipment. Couldn't wait to get on a tractor. Couldn't wait to get out of school. Come home and help farm. I just, that's the only thing I ever did. And still, I love it. It's not near as much fun as it used to be, that's for sure.
He says that, but I almost guarantee you he would not go back to a 40-20 with that auto steer and heat and air conditioning.
Oh, them was the good old days.
The good old days.
I miss them.
I bet your back doesn't.
I didn't say that.
Back was a lot stronger then.
But Dad had 3 brothers though, and
2 brothers.
Well, yeah, 2 brothers and a sister. But the one brother, he didn't have anything to do with the farm after he grew up. I mean, he left the farm and pursued other professions. And then my dad's brother John, the one that was his partner, he left the farm and then he came back. How old was he when he came back? He was probably, is he 40 or 35 or?
Oh, about 72. So I was.
1972. He wasn't 72.
He was 30. About 30. He was a mechanic. When he got out of school, he went to paper mill work, and he got out, or went out on his own, mechanic, a good mechanic, and then some things happened, and he decided to farm. So we need some help.
So I guess what I'm saying is, just because you were born into a farm, that doesn't automatically mean that that's what you want to do, or that's what you have to do. I mean, you definitely got to want to do it. Someone else asked me, what got you into the lawn and garden business? If you don't know, my brother is the manager of Brown's Lawn and Garden Equipment.
He got me into it. I don't know, it was an opportunity. I think Dad kind of was piddling around selling another brand as kind of just something to do. It wasn't anything that I think you felt like you were going to...
No, it's just kind of a hobby.
Yeah, right. Just something to keep you busy in the wintertime and
And you were out in between jobs and had an opportunity that couple that deal retired.
Yeah, it's just kind of being in the right place, right time, I guess.
You might as well give the business a full shout out, tell them what you sell and stuff.
Brown's Lawn and Garden. We sell Cub Cadet, Red Max, Grasshopper. You can find us on Route 50, just east of Chillicothe.
I will put a link to their Facebook page in the video description.
Website.
And if I can figure out how I'll put a link in the video, like in the top corner somewhere, I can't ever
I
remember.
see you doing that.
I can't ever remember which corner it pops up in, but
Sometimes it doesn't pop up.
it doesn't if you watch it on TV. If you watch it on a tablet or on a computer.
I'm new to the TV viewing.
Okay. But I'll put a link to their Facebook and website, I guess. But that's kind of like when Dad started it. It was just out of the farm shop, and then
Eventually, it was right here in this office.
yeah, this is
Built
in their
this
farm
building.
office.
We built this building just for that, and we farmed where he's at now. We used to farm that, and the ladies died, and we had a chance to buy the land there, and that was a good opportunity to move it up there where there's more people. See,
Yeah, this building's not exactly got prime road frontage. That was always one of the big hassles, wasn't it? People couldn't find you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
how many years been up there?
No,
13 was our first year.
No,
13
you
was our
moved
first
in when
season.
my daughter was born, 2012.
We
Seven
moved in
years?
December
Christmas, yeah.
of 12.
Well,
yeah.
surprising enough, people still come here
Yeah.
once in a while. I've had 2 this year or last year, looking for it.
And
Went right by it.
usually they're reps from other companies that don't realize we've moved.
Yeah.
That's been the most recent ones.
But, road frontage seemed to make a heck of a difference.
Oh hell yeah. Heck
Hans, lay down.
But,
Hans likes being in the
yeah,
videos.
I like some videos. But, BJ, someone wanted to know the most embarrassing thing you could tell about me growing up. Now keep in mind, 12-year age difference here. So when BJ moved out, went to college, I was 6.
Yeah, there was a period of time where Brian and I really weren't around each other a whole lot. Probably more of his embarrassing stories came when I was not here at the house.
That would probably be an accurate statement. Like
When
most of the
I
ones-
was in ag in high school, we would go to the farm science review every year. And the last year that I can remember going, a bunch of us bought these like composite walking sticks.
I hated that
We're
stuff.
like, I don't know what they were really used for, but I came home and Brian would come in my room and kind of nose through my stuff. And at one time, I think I chased him through the house with that stick and
You used to tell me
he
that
shrieked at the top of his lungs.
You used to tell me that was Yoda's walking stick or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
There was a
BJ
little
was
storage compartment in the corner of my room, like up underneath one of the eaves, and it had a little man door you could like climb into. And Brian would go over there and start to open it. I was like, "That's where Yoda lives," and he'd be like, "Ah."
Yeah, BJ was a little bit of a nerd. He liked Star Wars.
Still got a lot of Star Wars,
I'm
ain't
still a nerd.
Oh, I guess that ain't too embarrassing. I guess you like you said, you weren't around for the ones I didn't know.
Right? Yeah, probably. You
Yeah.
need to get a couple of high school buddies on here if you want to hear embarrassing Brian stories.
Oh, there's several, I'm sure. Some good ones. I'm sure there's some good ones about you too. What's your most embarrassing farm moment? You weren't in that here for the video, but you made it.
Somebody talked about it. I don't know. I don't know how old I was when I jackknifed that John Deere.
Yeah, Jack.
And
It was 89, 60. It would have been the early 90s.
Yeah, just ran it back into the grain car. I mean, I don't know that I ever had anything that big going up any kind of grade.
Well, that and Dad is notorious for a 10 to 30 second lesson on how to operate a piece of equipment.
That's all it takes.
He is always in a hurry, and it's always when you're busy is when you're getting a lesson. So, like for example,
Sink or swim seems to happen a lot on brown farms.
Yeah, say like Trey, for example, which is his oldest son. He gets in the cab of a tractor. Dad's gonna say, "Push this button, this button, this button." Okay, you got it. All right, bye. That's it.
He's a young kid. He figured it out. Figured I could. About semi, I don't know about driving it.
Now, was that? You got anything else other than that one?
Um,
I mean, you were around for more of the cattle part of the farm. I mean, was there anything good there?
not really embarrassing. I mean, there was a couple moments where I kind of feared for my life. We used to rotate cattle from one field to the other. We'd separate them when they were weaning, didn't we? And
yeah.
we used to have, somehow we ended up with like a random shorthorn calf.
No, it was when we went from the one pasture, had to go through the drive-through over to the other.
Yeah.
There's always one cow, gets loose in the cow, calf goes crazy. Well, the calf comes down this way, and I went down and got behind it. The cow, she was mean, and she was looking for it.
They got separated.
Brian, with BJ, I told him to open the gate. He opened the gate, if that's the time you're talking about. He opened the gate, and that cow took after him, and I thought, sure, that cow was...
And it was loose gravel, and it was right at the end of the old white garage where you go down the bottoms. That was all like really loose.
Yeah. I thought, sure, that cow had him. But he got behind the gate just in time, and that calf bellered, and she turned around.
Maybe that's why you didn't farm. You were around for the cattle side of it.
I actually kind of miss the livestock. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was
Yeah, bale
way
hay.
more than I'd want to be into now.
He
But
got the bale hay.
yeah, it was a lot different back then. I mean, it was fun. I mean, we had fun baling hay, but it was hard work, but there was always something going on.
Well, we did.
Made it seem like it wasn't that bad.
Well, didn't we kind of bale hay the lazy way? You just put on the
Oh
line and
yeah,
let it fall
yeah.
in the...
There was a couple summers where I went to bale for like Tom up the road, and
Yeah,
that
I
was
stack area there.
that was an experience because me being the smallest guy, I was usually up in the haymow, or I got stuck in the haymow a lot, and it was hotter than all get out.
I'm talking
and-
about baling for Tom. I mean,
yeah,
whenever I was a kid, we didn't have any hay or anything at that time.
I didn't realize people actually stacked hay, and so I went to bale for somebody else.
See, I've never baled for anyone that didn't stack hay. Because
Okay.
we didn't bale hay whenever I was 14, 15. Well, I went to bale for Tom, which is our neighbor down the road, and he had me get a bunch of guys together. So I got all my friends from school, and we baled for him that summer. And Tom at that time was very handicapped, and he told me how he wanted the bales stacked. Like he wanted them only stacked to this particular part of the barn. And he gave me all the particulars. We start stacking everything, and we get like 3 or 4 tiers stacked up. And somehow Tom managed to climb up in that hay mound. And when I say Tom's handicapped at this point, I mean like he needs help going to the bathroom handicapped. He was riding around on his 0-turn lawnmower he bought off Dad to watch us. Next thing
hay bales with it,
yes,
too.
he was. Next thing I know, there's Tom in the hay mound informing us that we had misstacked these by about 6 inches and had to restack the whole barn. Anyways, back to the Q&A. I guess. What kind of fertilizer program we were running? I guess, I don't know if it was one person or I don't know, but we don't, we used to strip till. We would still ideally like to strip till in anhydrous, but we don't have a tank. There's no tanks around here. There used to be one at, well, it's Cargill now. It's been going for 10 years and
Longer than
12. I pulled tanks at one time.
Oh, did you?
My first year I was driving.
Oh, okay.
So that'd been 2006. It was
From
it
in
was
there?
Midland then.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a good 10 years.
But we'd kind of still like to get back to strip tilling and dry fertilize, but for the time being we were broadcasting our dry fertilizer on with a spreader, and we are side dressing 28 onto our corn with our Miller sprayer. That's kind of our fertilizer program at the moment. We've been doing the side dressing that way for a few years now. It's always worked pretty well. Haven't got burnt too bad on it yet. We've always tried to kind of play it by the weather when we can. It's one thing about using that sprayer. We can cover a lot of acres in a day. So I mean, if it looks like it's going to rain, I mean, we can hurry up and get it done right before the rain. It seems like we use a stabilizer with it, so it seems to work pretty good. With our wheat, we put dry fertilizer on with our wheat, and then we top dress it with 28 also with the sprayer. And, we've raised pretty good wheat that way. But like I said, we would like to get back to strip tilling at some point.
And then putting on dry fertilizer with strip till on.
Yeah.
You need to get the phosphorus down the ground. And we've no-tilled since probably 96, I think.
Well, that was another question, is our tillage practice. I don't know that I'd ever call this an actual 100% strict no-till. We are minimal till at this point, I think. I mean, we're using a vertical tillage tool. The Turbo
Well, we
Max.
do, not all the time, but
I mean, we run the Turbo Max over all the corn stalks and all the wheat stubble when we can. This year we probably ran it over 60% of the corn stalks.
the way it looks this year, we might not do hardly any.
Well, we're going to at least have to cut up the flooded bottoms now. But I'm trying to think of how many years we were ever 100% no-till, and there was probably a couple of years in there where we were, but like I say, From the time that you quit mobile plow, you were strip tilling, weren't you?
We chisel plowed.
Or yeah, chisel
Chisel
plow.
plow, put ammonia on the chisel in the fall usually.
But then you went straight into strip tilling.
Then it wasn't until I built a strip till bar in '95, I think it was, '96, built that strip till bar. And we started strip tilling.
How were you putting on your nitrogen before that?
Well, with chisel plow.
You were done chisel plowing.
Well, then we knifed something in with a regular ammonia knife.
Okay. Do you ever plan to expand the farm? Yes. I don't know if by expand you mean buying acres, leasing acres, building storage facilities, whatever, but the answer would be yes.
You guys should move that eventually.
Yeah.
I think that's made every time we've done this. But
We smell good.
But yeah, we would like to expand the farm. And I think most people in our situation, I think most farmers would like to expand the farm. What is the greatest advance in agriculture we've seen? So the way we're going to answer this is we're each going to give an answer, and there's going to be a variety of perspectives, obviously. So Dad, I mean, you've kind of got the broadest perspective there.
Well, back when I started, the biggest, I guess, greatest thing was I had my 40-20, didn't have a cab. But I come out with a cab and I put a cab on it. No more freezing my rear end off because we plowed, we was on the tractor a lot more than we are now. And that's pretty big for me, I thought. Now, as time goes on, the equipment's, I hate to say it, but I guess the precision side of it, the steering and all that, it's pretty nice when it works, but it can drive you nuts. But it kind of eases things up, especially at night. It's the biggest thing. Hard to see marks at night. Panels.
BJ would help.
Have an intelligent to add to this conversation.
Well, I mean, you kind of,
as
you're
kind
not
of
directly involved, but you see us.
Yeah, I guess as an outsider, I don't really think there's any one advancement. It's just kind of a conglomeration of things, like just the sheer volume of work that you guys can accomplish with a piece of equipment now compared to 20, 30 years ago. I mean, I'm sure your kids see you more growing up than you saw Dad growing up, and I know that you saw him more than I saw him growing up, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You guys are just able to get more done from the time you get out of bed and get going to the time you get home at night with the equipment than you would have been able to 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, kind of building on that, I think that we're able to do what we're able to do with the acres we're able to do it without more people. Like, I feel like, 20 years ago we would have had to have probably 3 or 4 more people working for us.
A lot less hours.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was Brian's age, we mobile plowed and went chisel plowing. This time of year it freeze up, you get up 5 o'clock and you run all night while it's frozen.
Well, that's kind of a benefit of no-till there too. I mean, we could still be chisel
yeah.
plowing.
We can do 2 guys or 1 guy. 2 guys can do what we did a whole lot easier and less time than what we did when I was a kid. When I first started, just a lot less hours.
Another thing, I guess, biggest advance I've seen growing up would probably be the precision side of things. I mean, the fact that when we were using strip till, we didn't have GPS was still kind of in its infancy there, I guess, auto steer and whatnot. But I know it would have been nice for that. I mean, RTK would have been the berries for coming back and planting right on that strip. But like row shut off, section control on planters, all those things, automatic boom shut offs. Those have all been big things that I've noticed have saved money and made us more efficient. I mean, those have been things that kind of stick out to me. And then, like you said, the size of equipment. Whenever I started really helping full time, whenever I was a kid, I think Dad's beanhead was 30 feet, and that was 15 years ago. Now it's a 40-foot head, and I've heard people talking about prototype 50-foot heads coming in the pretty near future. So everything is just keep getting bigger and bigger. It's kind of like when's enough? I don't know. But I guess that's kind of how it just seems like stuff's getting pretty large
and more expensive.
It's definitely getting more expensive. I don't know that I would call that advance, a great advance.
Marks are price.
Depends on which side of the counter you're sitting on.
Yeah.
No-till's pros and cons.
Oh, big thing is, several time.
Yeah, I mean,
savings.
like we were just talking about time savings.
Fuel, the soil. I know when we first started the one farm where our grain setups over at the river bottoms, when we started farming that, rented it. The fellows that farmed it was all mow-board plow. This was in the 1990s, before that. All mow-board plow, cultivate, everything. And Bob, the owner of the farm, when we started minimum till, which was chisel plow. Well, it didn't look as pretty as it lost stalks. And it didn't grow quite as bad. You get some wind erosion, and in the bobs you get soil erosion from the floods. Then we went to no-till, and he was a little bit leery about it first. Then we had a flood like the second year we was down there. We had the no-till, and one day washing the soil. And
Like right now, I mean, there's
So,
water over all of our river
Yeah.
bottom ground. If all that had been chisel plowed, I don't know how much topsoil we'd be
We'd lose
losing,
some.
but we'd be losing some topsoil.
So that's another big thing. And
I would say one of the cons of it, I mean, something that I see, I mean, eventually, a lot of our soil is very sandy. That was another question. Especially around the river, it's very gravelly ground, and what isn't gravelly has a lot of sand in it. It does seem like eventually it'll compact quite a bit, especially on high traffic areas. I think it was still compacting with plowing. I think we were building a pretty good plow pan, I would imagine. But that's something I kind of see as maybe some more compaction issues, but you get away from them high traffic areas and the ground is as loose as can be. So, what other cons do you see? Residue management, maybe.
with equipment we got,
That's kind of why we run the vertical tillage tool.
It's just still some people don't like the way it looks maybe. But it looks like when you're planting, you burn it down, it does look ugly, but then it greens up, and then nobody knows it. But still, a lot of people think it's ugly farming.
This will be the last question we get to. Why is there two different grain facilities? This is something I got asked a lot, especially during harvest. It's probably a little confusing why we'd be maybe putting corn over here and then we'd switch farms and have to put corn over here, so I figured we'd just go ahead and answer that. The one grain facility that has a grain leg, we do not own 100% of. We own a portion of that. So whenever it was time to expand our grain storage capabilities, we wanted to put that on ground that we owned outright, 100%. So that's why there's two grain storage facilities. The grain that is at that place, all the grain from that farm goes into that grains facility, whereas not the case with the other ones. But the other one, all the corn that we farm can go into that grain facility. So that's why it's like that.
We don't own all of our ground. We rent some of it. And that's why. But the first grain facility was down here at the farm where we're at now, and the one that's over there where the leg at was built in 1974. And we built ours in 1976. We just had two little bins we still got. We had a dryer here that was up there now at the new facility, and that big bin we moved up there. Just more room up there, but we put all our grain in it, and what little we cash rent will go in there. But that's the main thing.
But that's kind of why it's like that. If you hear us talking about harnesses, that farm, it was owned by the Harness family from 1798 till when Bob Harness passed away in 2008. So if you hear us talking about harnesses, that's harnesses. That's why we always call any farm that farms that we own too. We've always called whoever owned it before us. That's the name of it. Except for the home farm, we call it the home farm. That's where we're at now.
Who the home farm was?
Claypools.
Claypool land. This was all Claypool now. How many acres? they
Same
own?
family that had the cemetery?
Yep.
Yeah.
But that should help clear up a little bit of confusion. I know people would always seem confused, and I can understand, but that's why there's two grain facilities. I mean, it would have been nice to have been able to have a little bit of influence on how that was built, but things were a lot different in, what did you say, 1974?
74, they used little straight trucks, and that's why it's a small drive-through and everything. They didn't plan ahead real good. It was state of the art back then, though.
It actually does
It
the job for what you guys do now. I mean,
we've made the building better, tore the doors out, made it wider.
I tore one up this year, didn't they?
Yeah, he tore a tractor,
George
customized
got one a
one.
couple years ago too.
So that's why.
But, that's the end of this Q&A. Like I say, we're gonna.
Can I ask a question?
So
How many acres you guys farm?
check the video description.
Okay, I'll be sure to do that.
If you don't know, it's in the video description under frequently asked questions. Every video. But that'll be the end of this Q&A. So I would like to maybe make this something we do periodically. So there was several questions we didn't get to. We've been going on for about a half hour now. So this will probably be the last video before Louisville. We are going to Louisville, minus him. So if you see us down there, stop us, say hi. George will be at the cafeteria.
Yeah, George B.
He is going down too. That'll be the end for this video. But thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Brian's Farm Videos and Facebook at Brown Farms, and we'll see you in the next video.
Cut.